with our formal program, the session on plastic packaging. We have two very renowned faculty and industry expert. We have Professor Dr. N.C. Saha. He was the director of Indian Institute of Packaging. He was also past vice president of World Packaging Organization, past Secretary General Asian Packaging Federation, chairman sectional committees of Bureau of Indian Standards. He has authored books on food packaging for IGNU and also book on packaging of fragrances for FFDC, Government of India. He has published more than 15 research papers, over 450 packaging, and acquired 1 patent to his credit. So welcome, Professor Dr. Saha. We have Mr. Mrinal K. Banerjee. He is Director, Innovation, Sustainability and Finance with 33 years of experience in SL Propack Limited. He had applied for 156 patents globally, out of which he has got 55 global patents. Innovator and thought leader in the field of laminated and extruded tube packaging and allied polymer conversion field, including printing and decoration. So I would request, thank you, sir, for being here. And Sasa, all yours. You can address the students now.
Very good morning. Our Arvind Bhai, the chairman of AIPMA AMTEC Center, Sampath Ji, the president, Lalit Bhai, and Deepak, and all the governing council member of the AIPMA. I think it's a great pleasure for me to get the invitation and to address to the students. I'm just remembering about 3 years back when I was the director of Indian Institute of Packaging just across the road. You will be knowing the Indian Institute of Packaging, where I worked for 32 years, and I was the director for 10 years from 2009 to 2019. And now, of course, I am involved in other jobs, but it was a pleasure for us to get the invitation from AIPMA AMTEC to get associated and to start on the education and training program. Plastics packaging, which I'll be talking to you, and I'm very happy to see the youngsters are here. Even Indian Institute of Packaging, we have produced over the last 32 years almost 10,000 students who has passed out from IIP. And today I feel happy wherever I go, any country, not in India. Like 6 months back, I was in the US, and I got call from the students when they know that I am in US. Indian Institute of Packaging, almost 20 students are settled in US market. We have about 80 students are in Dubai. There are about 100 students are in Singapore. So that goes a pleasure, you know, how the institute has grown over the last 56 years. And I had a pleasure to celebrate Golden Jubilee of the Indian Institute of Packaging and all. So nevertheless, I'll just start my small presentation to take that, why you should come to AMTEC and what is the program. See that? It will go like that. No, how? This one? Yeah. You see, we are here today. I have come here not from Indian Institute of Packaging. I have come from an NGO. It is called Foundation for Innovative Packaging and Sustainability. And this was, I just came in my mind in 2020 when everybody is locked down at home. And after my Indian Institute of Packaging, I joined at Indian Institute of Technology at IIT Delhi as a visiting professor of Material Science and Engineering. Then I was just talking to one of the professors at IIT Delhi that whatever we have learned for the last more than 3 decades is the time to give it back to the society. So we can't be a businessman like Arvind Bhai, we can only give the knowledge. So that's why we thought, let's start a knowledge platform. So this is called Foundation for Innovative Packaging and Sustainability, which is a non-government, non-profit body, which has been registered with Ministry of Corporate Affairs as a society. It's not a society, it's a society, it's a non-profit body. I'm very happy with me, Professor Anup Ghosh, who is right now also Professor Emeritus at IIT Delhi, and Mr. M.K. Banerjee, who was the governing council member of Indian Institute of Packaging. We joined together and then we started this organization. Sorry. This was formally launched, this foundation on 28th of January in 2021, the last year, at the hands of a stalwart, those are on the polymer science. His name is Professor M.M. Sharma, who is a Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan awardee. He is about 82 years old, and he was the ex-director of Indian Institute of Indian Chemical Technology, which we say UDCT, Matunga, Mumbai. And he was very happy that we know that we have started a knowledge platform, so he has joined with us. This organization, over the period of time, we have formed a committee, about 18 members team of this NGO. I, being a founder chairman, I've invited the two bureaucrats whom I used to work with them in the Ministry of Commerce. One is Mr. R.R. Rashmi, who was the Chief Secretary of Manipur. He is a mentor of this foundation. And Dr. U. Venkateshlu, the Chief Secretary of Tripura. And both are the bureaucrats in 83-87 batch. And they are the mentor of this foundation. We also have Indian National Institute of Technology, NID, National Institute of Design, NID, Ahmedabad, the director Pradyumna Vyas, who was a part of my counterpart. So like this, we got about 18 members who was a part of this team and doing. Now as a knowledge platform, what we are doing, this is a kite called Knowledge, Information and Training. And in the training, we have a different kinds of training, you know, the targeted group training, like this is the training what we'll be talking and all. So this kind of training what we do, but all related to the packaging and sustainability. We say the FIPS has got a kite module with the packaging concept, knowledge and packaging material, packaging research, recyclability, life cycle analysis, all these aspects which are all covered by the knowledge platform. Material science, packaging types, and we got about packaging material, packaging technology, packaging design, all these aspects are covered with that. Over the last 15 months, we have organized about 20 webinars, and this foundation has already signed MOU with 7 universities, start from Mahatma Gandhi University at Kerala. We have started an IIT Delhi. We have signed MOU with National Institute of Design, Bhopal, and this is our website. You can just visit the website. You said what all we have done with this last 15 months. This is the important because we are here at AIPMA AMTEC. AMTEC has invited us to sign an MOU. Arvind Bhai was so nice that we should start some knowledge platform. We signed an MOU with AIPMA AMTEC for organizing an online course, and that was the first thing. We started an online program on 4 different modules, and module 1 on the packaging material and characteristics, module 2 on the process, module 3 on the machinery, and the 4th was the module design. Now this is just completed last, is an online course, and everywhere on an average about 25 people from the MSME industry who started. The whole idea was what the Arvind Bhai thought that the AMTEC or AIPMA has got a huge number. I think they have 25,000 members, Arvind Bhai? 20,000 members are all plastic industry, and almost 85% comes under MSME. So his vision is how best the MSME industry can be upgraded, uplift to them, and that's why we had the course. So this course what we had, that online module course, everywhere the people have come from the plastics background and they wanted to learn to upskill the course. This foundation, we have got 4 areas where we're working. The first area is called translational research. You'll be happy, the students, you are also different colleges, and this came in my mind when I was interacting with the director of IIT Delhi, and I just talked to him, the material science where I started teaching. I said, you have a lot of PhDs and MTechs are coming out with a various thesis or R&D. How many research has really gone to the market for commercialization? The result is about 0.1% has gone, even from institute like IIT. So imagine the other institute, how it will go. So that shows that academy and in industry, there is a big gap. But it does not mean the commercialization is not happening. It's all happening when the students are coming back and joining in any industry, they apply their knowledge, and then it goes. But our idea was, whatever the research is going on in the academic institute, make a partnership with the industry. So straight away you get your R&D goes to the commercialization, which is missing in the country, which is called translational research, which is very much applicable in US market. So in USA, all the university, the last semester, like at Indian Institute of Packaging, I started when I was the director, an in-house program or a course with the industry. So without industry-oriented program, that will not be acceptable. So in US, many of the university, their master's program, you have to have a project which will be the industrial project. That's called academy and industry relationship, which is missing in our country. So we thought from our foundation, there should be something called translational research, so which can be connected to that. I'm very happy to say that the Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi University at Kerala, Dr. Thabu Thomas, which is also famous in the polymer science, we have signed recently a project which is funded by the Indo-German Science and Technology Center, and we are an R&D partner with the MGM University. That's on the university side on a subject called smart packaging. And that's a very important upcoming subject, and all the research will be done in the MG University. On the back end, we have signed an MOU with UFLAX, because UFLAX is an industry who can take it forward for upskilling the technology, and they will have the first right to do so. So this is the first project which has started a translational research. So like that, we are thinking how best we can do the translation research. The second area our foundation is doing on upskilling the knowledge. The students what you are just looking for a job. Actually today's is a career fair. I'll give you some of the idea. But once you go and in industry, today all of you will agree that 20,000 plastics industry, there are many employees who are in the executive level. They know their subject on their own subject. Like I was talking to UFLAX, we are just making a customized program for UFLAX employees. Just 40 executives will be trained as a customized program. Because when I was talking to Jibraj Pillai, he said that I have about 40 executives, they know lamination, they know printing. But if I ask them that I have 4 products, maybe a potato chips or an edible oil or pickles and all, which polymer should go with the which product? That called product package compatibility, or the selection of the polymeric material, which is a linking, is a D-link or the missing link. So there we are making a program. It's a customized 4 days program, which will be just to train the people on the industry. That's called upskilling the knowledge. That's our another area we work. We are also on a publication. Till now, we have already published 4 books with AIPMA, AMTEC. Within just 18 months, we have done it. Policy, it's not our job to say like AIPMA or association is writing many things to the government. But we have an advantage now. I am not a government director, so I have an advantage to talk to the government and saying that what is wrong or what is right. Very recently, there was a industry, all the plastics notification came, and that from 50 micron carry back to 70 and then 120 micron, all of you know that. So we had a meeting, and fortunately our mentor, he himself was the additional secretary of Environment Ministry. So Rashmi sir, then Dr. Lakshmi was the director in Environment Ministry. We also made a representation. It was not a representation, recommendation we have given for our NGO. Our recommendation was to the government that whatever you make a policy, please make the policy on a science background policy. For example, 50 micron, you just increasing to 70 micron or 120 micron. What is the background behind that on a science base? It does not mean that you say that the rack picker have to bend down and pick it. You need a thicker and thicker material. When you talk on a sustainability point of view, what you're talking about resource efficiency. So it's very contradictory. One side you want that efficient resource, that means you should bring down the material thickness or the material weight. On the other side, you are keeping on increasing. Instead of that, we should work that 50 micron material, what is the degree of recyclability? Unfortunately, in India, there is no study has been carried out, not even in IIT or NIT, about the degree of recyclability of the various thickness layer of the polymeric material. So without knowing the background, we just keep on increasing 50 to 70 and 120. What is the guarantee the 120, your rack picker, your garbage will be, or littering problem will be solved? That's not the idea. That was one of our recommendations from the NGO we have given to the Environment Ministry. So we keep on touch on that. Another recommendation we have given to the Ministry of Steel. Ministry of Steel has, this not on a plastic, they wanted a notification like what are the metal plates are being imported from India. India is importing a lot of metal plate because we had a shortage of metals in India. We need around 6,000 metric ton your requirement, and we are able to manufacture only 4.5 ton material. 4,500 tons material. There are only two companies, one is Tata Tin Plate Company, another is the JSW, the Jindal Steel Works. But very recently, the Jindal Steel Works have increased their capacity. They have gone, now we are not really importing. Government of India wanted that whichever the material is coming from abroad to Indian market, this needs to be Bureau of Indian Standard certification. Incidentally, I am the chairman of Plastics in Packaging in Bureau of Indian Standard. Still, I am the chairman of metal packaging, glass packaging, paper packaging, all packaging related standard committee. I am still holding the responsibility as a chairman for the formulation of a national standard. We have already a standard on metal packaging, which is IS 1993. So we have just spoken to the Joint Secretary or the chair or the press saying that there is already one standard. So there is no need for a two standard, because the moment the plates are imported from other country, sub-quality or substandard material, the moment it is printed, it is very difficult to check it. So instead of that, the basic standard what we have, if you have a mechanism for the drawing the samples at the customs point, bring it and do the testing and find out whether it is a prime material or non-prime material. So these are the area where actually we are working on that, on the NGO is working. So on AIPMA AMTEC, we are mostly on the knowledge based. Now, if you look at about the overall the packaging industry globally, this is the data which has come from World Packaging Organization. We say packaging is the world largest, one of the largest. If you talk about all the big industry, first, second, third, fourth position, packaging comes on the 9th position across the world. We talk about the power segment, IT sector, packaging cannot be write off, because that's also come in the 9th position in the topmost 10 industry. We have millions and billions of industry what we're doing, but if you say the organized company across the world is around more than 500,000 organized sector industry we have. More than 5 million people are working this. I'm talking on the top management people, what they do. Over the India and the Asia Pacific region, it is coming the third largest segment, and in the globally, the packaging industry is going around 3 to 5%. You see the next slide, or this slide is so that global, totally it is 975 billion US dollar is the global packaging consumption, what we find. India, it is around 52.3 billion US dollar in 2020 figure is just before the lockdown. And in Indian packaging industry is growing at the rate of around 11 to 13%. Very interestingly, during the lockdown, many segment was a declining stage, but packaging industry was not as a decline, because you are all at home, and in that lockdown stage, you need a food, you need a medicine, and everything is coming in a packaged condition. So packaging industry was considered as an essential commodity. And that's the reason the packaging industry, there was not a slowdown. And on the other way, my packaging friend, they say the COVID was a blessing, not a disguise. So sorry to say, this is the way the industry has taken, and we find the packaging industry is growing in Indian market. Come to the plastics. Why the plastics is so much important? If you take this segment, you find plastics as two. One is the flexible and rigid. The plastics, flexible and rigid together, it comes around 50% goes consumption only from plastics. And that's the reason the AIPMA AMTEC is trying to promote this subject and trying to say that how best the youngsters can come and they become an entrepreneur, and how this industry can grow. You see in India, metal packaging is growing only on 7%. Glass industry is growing 6%. It's going down. And there are leading company only. There are only 5 companies. I have been connected with all this packaging industry, but the plastic industry is growing at the rate of your rigid packaging, which comes your drinking water, the PET bottle. That alone is growing around 35% growth. Flexible is growing around 13%, overall growth is around 11 to 13%, the plastic packaging industry. The overall consumption, we get 50%, which is the data, the WPO say that. I just take one of the picture, the plastic packaging, how it is really driven the employment. Because here all the students, you have come from the various college, Bhagavai Polytechnic and all, I know, because many students have joined in Indian Institute of Packaging also. And you are ultimately you're looking for a job. So this is a job fair or an education fair. So you can say that where all your opportunities coming. You find a lot of plastic packaging is going, because 50% goes to the packaging consumption of plastic. Now, where all this plastic can be used, you find you will be surprised that plastics today, the 50% consumption, it has gone all the segment. You talk fresh fruits and vegetable, you talk cosmetics, pharmaceutical, alcoholic beverages, and medical cosmetics, everywhere. Oral care, like Mr. Banerjee is from oral care, he will be talking about the toothpaste company. It was one of the largest company in India, that SL Propack, where he has worked for 35 years. Even the oral care industry, everywhere you find the plastics packaging going. I'm not coming to that the other segment that plastic is going to be banned. There is no chance of getting the banning of the plastic. Again, and I'm repeating the story because I'm still connected to the World Packaging Organization. I'm still the permanent honorary member of Asian Packaging Federation because I served as a Secretary General for 6 years. Across the globe, plastic cannot be banned. Rather, plastic can be minimized. People are all thinking what should be the alternate. Why it is so? Many students may not be knowing. I'm telling the truth why it has come. The reason is your planet, we are all in the earth, that the planet, it is a fixed dimension. It has got a fixed environment. It's got a fixed water resource. It's got a fixed land. On the contrary, the population today, as per WPO, as the WTO, World Trade Organization, today's world population is 7.2 billion, which is going to touch to 10 billion by 2050. So what would happen to your next generation water? What would happen to their oxygen for breathing? So that's the reason, the main cause why people are telling that we need to have a sustainability. That's the one point. The second point, what is the United Nations had published a data, which is last year came on 21st April. They say the kind of flexible material on the plastics, which are not being collected back, because we are all civilized. We are so civilized that you have a dustbin, which has written, use me, we don't throw it there, we just throw on the roadside. And when the rain comes, it just washes away, it goes to the drain, drain is blocked, plastic is victimized. It is the material science null problem, or it is the you and me is a problem. The problem is us, we have a lack of responsibility. That's why from our NGO, we are organizing a conference, we have given the name called Responsible Packaging. It's all a record of responsibility. It is you, me, everybody is responsible for the pollution problem. We had a 2 days big conference coming in Delhi on 9th or 10th of September. The term is called responsible packaging, responsible design, responsible material, responsible technology. That's his regard. So today why it has happened today, whole world is thinking about plastic, because when the plastic is washed and going to the drain to ultimately reach to the ocean. Now, United Nations had published that by 2050, the quantum of plastic which will be accumulated below your ocean water, which is 10 times more than the total fish population. So that's an alarming, which is called marine pollution. And marine pollution has triggered the global concern that we have to do something. Now what to do? They say, okay, how do you reduce it? But before reduction thinking, first you change your behavior first. As in you and me, we have to change the behavioral change. That's why we thought the lack of responsibility lies with the consumer. Plastic is just a material. Today, plastic, because of the thin and your consumption is so high, as I said that 52 billion is coming. The material is, the density is less, is thinner and the lighter in weight. So the rack picker, because in India there are only two routes where the collection is coming back. One is the rack picker and another is the municipality. Very interestingly, at your home, you have a green bin, red bin, you just segregate wet and dry, that municipality come, he mixed it and take it back. Your all effort has gone. So that's the way, there is no chain that one will collect dry, one will collect waste, one will collect plastic. That has to be, need to be a mechanized. AIPMA has done some study, there are many recycling industry has come. We are also working with a company, the Austrian company, how best to collect back only the clean material so the recycling become faster. From our NGO, we are working on that, an Austrian company also. So what I say that it is not a plastic ban or it is not bad, the material, it's the behavioral change. So plastic you find, everywhere the consumption is going, there are many technology where all the plastics are coming. Smart packaging, intelligent packaging, equilibrium modified atmosphere packaging, antimicrobial packaging, these are all packaging technology where you get the increase the shelf life. Everywhere plastics is required. Plastic is entered everywhere, and that's why the consumption has gone up. Now comes to your career opportunity. I find that this was, I just made a slide yesterday, the students who are from the polymer background or engineering students, when you think about to make your career in plastics, in packaging, where all you can go. Your first choice comes, those who are very studious, who wants to do research, he can go to the research and education, he can think of it. He can go for an employment opportunity, that's an industry where you can go. The one is you can join in an industry, you can become a researcher, you can have also, trading. If you want that, I want to be a businessman, you start with a trading first on the material, or you can become a startup, or you can become a package designer. So these are the area, once your graduation is over, you can think of it, where all my career should suit to that. You just think of it. Second comes where the opportunity will come in the plastic industry. You can have a plastic films and laminate manufacturer, the U-Flags, there are many converting industry in India. You can join there, they have a production department, they have an R&D department, they have a marketing department. Anywhere you can join, so you have an opportunity to the plastic, go to the film industry, go to the plastic-based, the pouches who are that make it. You can also go the AMTEC manufacturer, like your fertilizer is packed. So like that, if you go, there is a huge demand is coming, caps and closures. You find the caps and closures in cosmetic industry, total 40 variety of caps and closures are used. That's why you find, you might have seen Harpic, the opening is very difficult. That's we said twist on, twist off, screw cap, 40 variety caps are coming, all made from plastics. So there's another segment where you can think of it, where your opportunity is coming. You can become a startup, even you can think of it startup because government is also giving you subsidy, you can think of it, there's one area is entering to the market called thermoform container. Now thermoform container like blister pack, you got every day at home, you find the strips are coming, there is a strip packaging and blister packaging. So the blister which is made from PVC because of high oxygen barrier, but thermoform industry because of the single layer material thermoform, that's industry is growing. On an average in Indian market is growing at the rate of 6% growth, annual growth of thermoform industry. So you can think of it to make a startup, you can think about the molding industry, you can go a shrink slip, that's another advantage is coming. Nowadays the recycled material, when it's going back to make a circularity, so you have a raw material, the post-consumer waste material, you just melt it, make the granule, and that granule again make a container. So you can make an injection molded container. It will give a different color, but top of that you can give a shrink slip with your printing, whatever you want, and that's a single layer material, again environment compliance. So that's another area, one of the startup you can think of it. Huge industry is coming as a scrap accumulator. Now this is a new industry is growing in the country, how do best the scrap collection. And once you scrap it, clean it and give it to the recycler, because there are, I think Arvind bhai, about 3,000 recyclers is there in the country. So you can become one of the recycler as a startup. Now to do also, I think you need knowledge. And that's why you are here. And I thought this is my last slide, that you can have a basic knowledge in plastic packaging. And you have a different kind of course, you can wear a crash course. We are just discussing Arvind bhai, we start a 3-month certificate program. You can have 1 week program, 1 month program, 3 months, even 1 year program. And very interesting, let me tell you, these programs are called customized program. No institute in the country, even IIP where I was working so many years, IIP also does not have a special course called plastic packaging. Their course is called packaging course, but here AIPMA AMTEC will be doing a special course which is called plastic packaging course. So where you can go, you can come to AIPMA AMTEC, where this course you can join and make your career, whatever I say the opportunity, you become a trader, you become a startup, or you can start making an employment in any of the packaging industry. So thank you very much. Okay, I thought I'll give an idea.
Students, I think you have learned a lot about the plastics application. Now, how many of you are from engineering background? Okay, many. I love engineering because I am from electrical instrumentation engineering, but I have learned plastic out of hobby. Huh? Yeah. And how many from plastic background, packaging background? Not many, few. Huh? Okay. Yeah. No, I think whatever. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 slides. Now, this one is, thought provoking. This is the 2x2 matrix in management, you know that. Where you are currently, you can see the Maruti car, very common. So, so forget about the car. So any product industry they are making or you will be joining, so you'll find, like a robots, you come 8 hours duty, 12 hours duty, you go. So it will be more like common kind of thing. So owner will say that we are not making any money, no contribution. So your salary increment, promotion, it will be all limited. So what they say, you should go for more like, specialty product. This is more like, Toyota Innova, little bit bigger car and all these things. So you need not think about the car, you think about the product. So there it is more value. That means company get more contribution out of that. They make little bit more profit and they share with you in terms of salary, increment, incentive. Yeah. So this is there. Go up vertically. So what do you see there? BMW. Yeah. So that product means company makes and many they sell, they have more profit. And then you get more remuneration, more incentives and all this. So industry they say, instead of horizontally, common product, you should have a premium product. Yeah, these are true, wherever industry you go, even they are making a chappal sole or they are making a, packaging sheets, whatever it may be, they will always say that we should have a premium one. Then you have luxury one, Rolls Royce. Yeah, so you should have a Rolls Royce kind of product. So that is the thing you should move. And then, now see all the industry going on for so many years, these are all IC engines, common for all these 4 segments, these are all IC, internal combustion engines. Now what is the trend? What world need in terms of sustainability? You have a Tesla. So they don't use IC engine anymore. So they have a electric car, battery operated. So that is the need. Now why I put this one first? You should understand that industry in packaging engineering when you will be joining. So what skill set, what additional learning you should have and who can help you connecting all these things so that these are the requirement from the industry and then there are AMTEC different courses which you can learn and then plug in all this. These are the concept. But this is the analogy I thought, every day you see that this will be very helpful. So any product you think about that, when you go out of box, when government, local and like globally they are asking sustainability, plastic is bad, other thing is good, so-called, metal and paper. But when you do LCS study, life cycle analysis study, you will have a different result. So that's why we have the 3 golden slogan that, reduce, reuse and recycle. All these things. So how to apply those theory? So this is some of the thing, we should ponder about. Now, these are the basic thing why, we are here today, why you should attend finishing school. These are finishing school because your basic education you already have, 10, 12 graduation, then you have done engineering, special, the knowledge you have, how the science, technology works. So you have glimpses of that. But I can tell you most of the institute, at least in India, you don't have very efficient lab. You will have a lathe machine or any motor which is a vintage, 50s and 60s. And half the thing doesn't work only. But now you talk about, if it is electrical or something, you talk about, there are servo motors. pancake motor. So you'll find out where is the armature, where is the stator, rotor. It is altogether different. So you need a different kind of media of learning. So which you can learn here in AMTEC in finishing school. So when you talk about all this new thing, having learned all these things to your management, they recognize you out of 50, 60, 100, 1000 employee. When you talk, I know that I have seen that this can be done. Not necessarily you'll have to create a pancake motor or servo motor, but you know who sell those and how to connect that and how you can fix on your machine and you can have a energy efficiency. That means when the motor runs, it draws the current. When it doesn't run, it doesn't draw the current. Say these are the special signs you must have read or must not have read, but in a finishing school, we will teach you all these things. So these are very important. See, all these things you'll be learning. I just wrote few points. I come from the industry, and as the professor said, 156 patent I have applied globally. And those, 58 already granted globally. And unfortunately, India, they are only now opening the file of 2012. Now we are 22. And when I got grant, started getting from 2012, US is a wonder country. You apply, they will argue a lot of things. But once they know you are different, achieving the same product, but different mean, like car is car. It is a mobility, whether it is a, IC engine or it is a battery electric operated. You are moving from one to another. But US give you grant, within 6 months, 1 year. And India, see, 12, 13 file they are opening and all these things. Anyway, so it is a big opportunity. Please grab those and learn more new things. So your employability will be much more and you'll be recognized. Thank you.